I think it's obviously the fans, the atmosphere that the game brings. I think that's the special part of it. You know, being a footballer, you want to play in the biggest games, and this is one of the biggest games in the world. So yeah, it's something to really take grasp of.
It's quite a new group, a lot of new players, new head coach as well. As captain, what do you find yourself telling all the new guys about what to expect from you?
Well, I think we've obviously had one game already, so the boys have experienced that. As a home game, there's going to obviously be a 50-50 split between the fans, so we've just got to do what we've been doing in the past couple of games and put in the performances that we want. Real togetherness and, you know, being hard to break down. So it's down to us how we want to make this game look, how we approach it.
What sort of differences have you noticed around the place since Danny Röhl's come?
Obviously small changes tactically. You know, he's almost wanted it to be a fresh slate. You can obviously feel that when you're in playing at Ibrox. It's, you know, with the fans, it feels like like a fresh slate. So the boys have really responded well. Obviously, the brand game was came thick and fast. 2 days in the door, so it was difficult to get as much information as possible. But I think the boys have really responded well since then. Because obviously, I wouldn't really say it was tactical that day. It was more as a team and effort and what we put into that game, and I think we really responded well from then. So, you know, it's about consistency now, so we have to keep stepping it up, keep putting in the performances.
James, you're very strong with your criticism of how the team approached that game in Norway. Since then, have you seen an uplift in attitude and application and just the general, you know, desire to run for the team and chase for the goals?
Yeah, I have, and you know, you never want it to get to that stage, and you never want to have performances like that. But you know, it's a good thing that we've seen a reaction, and it's a positive one. So we've got to build on that and keep pushing each other, keep wanting to demand and, you know, run for each other and show real togetherness. And I think the past 2 games we've really seen that. So, you know, I really want that to continue.
Are you confident that this team has reached its low point and that was as bad as it was going to get that night in Norway?
Well, I definitely hope so. You know, I've seen glimpses of where this team can be throughout the season. You know, we've never been consistent of what we were capable of. But I think in the past couple of games, you know, you really see, I mentioned it again, like the togetherness in the team, and it's about the basics. If you do the basics right, then, you know, the talent can shine through a game, and yeah, we've been doing that right. So yeah, we can't be complacent.
And just finally for me, this is the face Celtic at Hampden since last year's final, and the painful way that ended. I mean, how much does that still rankle with you? Does it still hurt? How much does it still live in the memory? How determined are you to sort of set that one straight?
Well, yeah, obviously for myself, yeah, you never want to lose a game like that, especially in the final. I think obviously there's a lot of new faces in the building, so it's going to look a different approach for them. But yeah, any game I always want to win. So we're obviously really you know, working hard on the training pitch today, and we'll be doing that again tomorrow. And then, you know, from the first whistle when we cross that white line, we have to really put the performance to put ourselves into a final.
Hi James, on Wednesday the team got a lot of credit for how they managed to dig in and get the victory. How has the manager managed to instil that so quickly, having been in the door just over a week?
I think it's down to obviously his tactics and how he, you know, sets the team out and what he wants certain, you know, personnel during the game, when we're attacking, when we're defending. But I think it comes down to everyone wanting to run for each other. You know, we probably had similar tactics in the brand game, but we didn't apply ourselves right. And you can see when we do apply ourselves right and we're really together as a team, you see in the past 2 performances off the ball, we've been, you know, really strong, been really hunting the ball quick, and we've been doing it all together. So that's the most pleasing thing.
Do you think that's going to be an important factor come Sunday, how good the team are off the ball as well as on it?
Yeah, because you want to not concede a goal, and I think someone told us that was like our first clean sheet since December 24. So that blew my mind. You know, 'cause obviously pride yourself as a defender on not conceding, and to see that start, it was, I was, it was disappointing, and obviously couldn't believe it. So yeah, we have to take pride as a whole team to try and give Jack as, at least nothing to do in the net, and we're going to obviously try and do that building forward now, because we know we've got talent up the top end of the pitch, so we know we're going to create chances, but it's all about managing the game, giving the opposition less chances, and the more we do that, then we'll put ourselves in a good position.
Hi James, how much of a barometer is Sunday on how far this team has come under Danny Röhl in the short time you've been working with him?
Well, it's still early days, but it's a game that can get us into a final before the end of the year. So, it's always the cliche of, you play every game, you look ahead at the next game, you never look too far ahead, which, you never want to. You always want to concentrate on the next game. But obviously this is an important game because it can get us into a final. But it puts us in a position where we're building on something as well. So it's, every game's that's going to come up is always going to be important. But this one's our next one. So this is the most important one, to get ourselves into a final and to build as a team.
And given your experience as captain in this fixture, has Danny Röhl come to you for any sort of advice or wisdom on what to expect from the game on Sunday?
I've had my private chats with the gaffer. I'm obviously going to keep that private, but between captain and manager, we have a great dialogue, and we have our discussions.
James, what kind of game are you expecting on Sunday? There's a lot of chat that this season neither sides of the Old Firm have yet been at their best. What are you expecting?
I know that all the games that you do play in the Old Firms are always fast-tempoed, crazy pace. So I probably expect the same. Two teams that will obviously want to win, but it's down to us how we want the game to unfold. Stick to what the manager wants us to do in our game plan and apply it on the pitch.
They look to have been given a bit of a boost with the return of Martin O'Neill. Were you surprised by him coming back in, and how do you kind of shut out that noise and just focus on yourselves? I
really don't look into the news or much about that. Too busy with my kids, and I just tend to just keep away from that. I can only focus on my club and what we need to do, and any outside noise or anything that happens, I don't really pay notice.
James, no one at Rangers has played in as many occasions like this than yourself. What do you take from your previous experiences that you can maybe give a bit of advice to your colleagues who are experiencing it for the first time?
Like I said, all the games that I've always played are always start crazy tempo, and it can really, take your breath when you start them games. I know plenty of lads who have stepped foot in these games and they come back to us and say how quick it is at the very start. So it's just giving them a heads up, a calmness of it as well, because big game like this, nerves might come into it, but it's just about a level of calmness to it, and sticking to what the manager wants us to do. I've got full belief in my players and who the manager's selecting, so it's just giving them encouragement, belief, and just trying to push them.
When you reach this stage of your career, do these games mean any more to you? Are they more important because clearly you have less of your career ahead of you than you have behind?
I don't know. I think I've got a lot of years in front of us still. My legs are still very good. No, every game I treat with the utmost respect, and I always want to win. The desire and the hunger to win games is always there. I think it's there when I'm playing games with my kids, or I'm playing on the PlayStation with my brother. It's always there. I just want to win, so it'll always continue to be there.
James, just apart from the obvious in terms of taking a place in the final, what would a win on Sunday mean for this team in terms of confidence, belief and conviction just going forward?
It'll put us in a step in the right direction. It's another game. We have to build a consistency, so it's the step in the right direction, and that's the direction we want to take as a team and obviously as a club, because obviously the past couple of months have not been good enough, so we have now had 2 good performances, and now we need to keep on building on that, and this is obviously another game where we can make that step and then move better in the direction where we want to go.
James, you're obviously, into the final year of your contract. play these games, you've touched on it, you need more. You've seen you've got years ahead of you. It might be elsewhere. This might be your last chance at silverware at Rangers. Does that come into it for you?
I don't think that's too far ahead. I know it's obviously a game this weekend that we have a chance to get into a final, so that's all I'll focus on. I never think too far ahead. I can only control what I do today, and that's me coming into the training ground and trying to apply myself and try and demand and be better than what I was yesterday. So that's all I can really, focus on and concentrate on. And yeah, just take it day by day.
Last one, Scott.
James, as a radio pundit, Martin O'Neill's been pretty scathing in his criticism of this Rangers team. How good would it be? How good would it feel? And sort of making eat those words.
Yeah, you always want to win against your rival. You never want to lose. You never want to really draw, but you always want to win. And I think you get a real good feeling. The fans will get a really good feeling. Especially Monday morning. So that's what we're here to do, and we're obviously going to try and give it our all and get ourselves into a final.
Okay, guys, thanks for the update.
Thank you.
Guys, just